You're listening to 90.8 Hills FM Radio.
This is 90.8 Hills FM radio station, using our voice to rate your choice. Stay tuned.
90.8 Hills FM, in partnership with Task Force for Music and Arts, presents TaFMA Thursday. Stay tuned to listen to local artists every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on 90.8 Hills FM.
Hello and welcome once again, my amazing people on the other side. You are tuning to 90.8 Hills FM, Dimapur, the voice of change, the first ever community radio in Nagaland. Welcome to TaFMA Thursday. And this is RJ Ayan. I am so excited today as well to introduce you to our guest. But before I introduce her to you, how do you guys think or feel about art? When it comes to art, some may say that not all art is beautiful, that it should be not as beautiful as always. As with many aspects of life such as peace, faith, love, and happiness, one man's view is vastly different from another. Art can be so powerful and influenced that we could be inspired to produce a work of art ourselves. Art as a therapy could instill a sense of well-being for some and not only relax them but allow them to think clearly about troubling matters. Some art may have the opposite effect. An art piece may have us building up feelings of anger or pure rage, and we may react differently to people after being subjected to those graphics. But isn't that also the beauty of art? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. A popular quote from the 3rd century and true to anything you happen to be beholding. If something can arouse such powerful emotion within us, cause us to behave in a certain manner and perhaps say things that we normally would not say, then surely this makes art a beautiful expression of our inner emotions. Art is beautiful, whatever you believe art to be, and many art pieces will bring about different reactions in you. It is clear that the explanation is complicated and not definitive. Every piece of art, whether a painting, a vase, or a statue, will have different colors, lines, and textures that will appeal to your soul and heart. What feelings these art pieces bring about in you will help you decide whether the art is beautiful. The future of art belongs to the beauty of art. So listeners, on that note, I introduce you to our wonderful guest, Miss Limatola Longkumer, who is a visual artist who stands against all repressive forces of our society by speaking through art about taboo subjects on sex and sensuality. Her work includes monochrome, live art in mixed media. She focuses on inspiring the viewers to weave a pure interpretation through her inspiration from nature, music, women, and love. Some of her work features in the illustration featured in The Many That I Am. Writings from Nagaland, editor Anungla Zoe Longkumer, Zupan Books 2020. Homegrown article, Indian Artists Challenging Convention with their sexually provocative work 2018, and many more. Listeners and viewers, I could talk about the beauty of her works for hours and hours. But for now, let us all together tune into the conversation our guest Limatola had with our guest host RJ Tula.
You're listening to 90.8 Hills FM Radio.
This is 90.8 Hills FM radio station, using our voice to rate your choice. Stay tuned.
Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to another episode of 90.8 Hills FM, the voice of change, your very own community radio station. This is your RJ Tamsa. Now, here at Hills FM, we love hearing from you. Right? We love sharing your stories, your experiences, so that the rest of our listeners can also learn and be inspired by you. On that note, today in the studio we have a visual artist who, through her work, stands against all repressive forces of our society by speaking through art about taboo subjects such as sex, sensuality, and so on. She is based in Dimapur, Nagaland. Her work has been featured in the book The Many I Am Writings from Nagaland, and even in national print media and blogs, she has been touted to be an illustrator who is constantly challenging convention with her provocative work, thereby giving an opening to talk about taboo subjects. So here we have in our studio Limatola Longkumer. Thank you so much, Lima, for being here in the studio with us, Hills FM.
Thank you.
I'm sure it must have been a very difficult way all the way from home on a such hot, humid day, isn't it?
It's worth it, I think. I hope so.
So, Lima, maybe you can get started by you telling us something about your background. Like, how did you get into arts? Like, were you studying or you just happened to stumble on it?
I did a little bit of fine art in College of Art, Delhi. And that's how my interest grew related to art. I mean, I had this interest since when I was young. As a child, I used to paint a lot, but to really take up as a subject, I got into like a serious thing. Since class 11, 12, I took up fine art as a subject as well. We had a subject in DPS. So that's how I got serious with it.
So, you have always wanted to be an artist, right? Or were there other professions that you were thinking about initially?
There was a lot of transition on the way, but I think art was something that was consistent throughout my life. Yeah.
So then in your journey, have you experienced any challenges that have stuck with you, or maybe criticism that have stuck with you in your journey, or any lessons that you have learned?
There's been a lot of things coming up. Like when I was younger and I started art, it was just simply something that I enjoyed doing. But as I grew older, I realized a lot of things around me, and that was just for me to express myself as a woman, as a human being. And as it went on through the years, I learned that sometimes speaking about your feelings or the truth becomes like a very taboo. Can be taboo sometimes, but I didn't really have a notion or the intention to create or stir some issues. So that was one of the things that I realized growing up. But also when I started doing my erotic series, there was a lot of criticism or a lot of questions regarding that specific topic, and most people that critiqued me with related to that subject was always boxed me in that specific type of art style. But I think when it comes to being an artist, you're free to do whatever you want to do, as also free to do whatever you want to do, and also you express yourself being an artist. So I think throughout the journey, that's what I learned, just being yourself and being genuine to whoever you are.
I feel I can relate to you very well when you say that art is a form of expression, and it's not always possible to talk about subjects verbally.
Yes.
Say for me, for example, I'm not good at art, but when I cannot, most of the time, since I cannot express myself verbally, I write.
Right, yes.
And that is a
That's
very good
also
release.
Yes. There's also a form of art, like even speaking in front of public, publicly speaking. It's not everyone can do it. There's also oration, no? Like people have to have that talent inside.
True.
To be able to do that. So there are different ways of expressing yourself, and it's good knowing it. It's a very good strength, I feel, knowing to how to express yourself in your own way.
Do you feel the field of work that you do, only people with inborn creative talent can do it, or do you feel like somebody who doesn't have an inborn talent in art can teach herself how to be an artist such as you?
I think I realized this situation because I'm teaching right now, like I'm temporary faculty in Wandering Minds. That's one of the first fine art college in Nagaland. They just came up like 3 years ago, and the students, I'm basically I think I'm just like a mentor to them, because I just want them to build their own style and push them to have their own individual thinking and bring out the creativity. They may have like technical sides, they may be very good at their technical sides, but it is very important to also know how to bring out your creativity in your individual style. I don't think it's not possible, but you have to be true to yourself. Like it's okay to dabble on many different things, like painting or whatever, sculpture or writing, but knowing how to express yourself and being genuine when expressing is very important. Then I think the creativity comes out from there.
Indeed, yes, true. So your style of art, right, it mostly deals with taboo subjects.
Yes.
Now, is there a message that you want to portray through your different work?
I mean, yes, I do it because I feel like that's the thing that I'm feeling right now at that moment when I'm creating something. But also I think my work is mostly about, if you've seen my works, they're mostly like female figures in it, and I think that's what inspires me, like nature, woman, and I love to be inspired by them, because I feel like the strength of a woman, it may sound very cliche, but it is the most beautiful thing, knowing like the strength of the woman. And I think we forget, like as a woman, I think we forget our strengths, and I think we forget the beauty of being a woman sometimes. So it's not only taboo topics that I would like to speak through my art, but also to be an inspiration to women and the younger generation of women. That's what I want to mostly work or teach or talk about through my art.
You have mentioned taboo subjects. Can you tell us about which taboo subjects do you touch upon in your work?
Mostly when I started the erotic series, that was mostly the time when I got the attention. I didn't even intend to do it, honestly. It was just, for me, it was more of talking about sensuality rather than just sex. People forget the difference between sensuality and sexual, like intercourse or something. It is what it is. It's like life. That's how life was formed. But people mistake it by thinking like it's something vulgar or disgusting. It's all in the head. At the end of the day, it's how you perceive. I may paint something or draw something that's just banana and a fruit, but you may think like I'm trying to say something that is that it's all in the head. So like what you perceive, it's okay, and you have the freedom to do that. I'm not going to judge you, but you don't have to judge somebody just because that's in your head. So that's something that I also like to do through my artwork, is just pushing you to think for yourself and allowing you to do that on your own.
Lovely. You are also, as you have mentioned earlier, a faculty at Wandering Minds. How has been your experience there? Are there like, how do I say, lots of Naga students who are interested in this field? Is it
Yes,
like that?
surprisingly, yes. And I've just been working there for a year. I just take 2 classes, and that's like for 4th semester and the 2nd semester. So it's been a year only, but it's been a journey for me as well, because I've learned quite a lot, from the students themselves, and I hope they've learned something from me. But there are a lot of talent because of our ancestors in the first place. If it comes to music, or writing, or even like singing, music is part of it. Or even when it comes to art, there's a lot of creative students out there. But the most surprising thing was their parents allowing them to, take this as their main subject, or to be an undergrad student when it comes to like art, because the support system is not there in Nagaland. We always want, or in fact in India, because they always want their kids to become doctors or engineers, and they always think like doing something like this is not a respectable job per se, But I think the most important thing as a parent or as an adult who's inspiring the youth, I think we need to know that allowing the younger, the youth or the younger people, their strengths, and they can work on that. And when they work on that, they'll be able to like do wonders with their strengths. That's what I learned from them, as well as I hope I'm teaching them the same thing. Yeah.
I guess I would say that they are very fortunate to have that proper support system 10, 15 years ago. I can't imagine.
Can't imagine at all. Because it's so difficult, like convincing. I mean, it's not their fault, adults, like, the older generation, especially when it comes to from Nagaland, because we've been just the 3rd generation of, but the process and the progress is going on, and there's such a drastic change, especially in the art community, and I think it's a beautiful change. So I'm hoping and hopeful for the future.
Now, about your creative process, right? Where do you get your inspiration, and how do you come up with your ideas to paint all the different work that you have done so far?
My works are like based on intuitive art. Like mostly my works are in the style of expressing myself through art, like intuitively. So everything that I've done so far is the things that I've felt or I've seen, in my mind. So I've just tried to put it out there, execute it, whatever I've seen in my mind or whatever I felt. So that's what I did. I mean,
so it's like you are, expressing yourself through your work,
Yes.
and allowing others to do the same as well.
Yes. To have more like I said earlier when we were talking, art is not something that you have to understand. It's more like if through my works you felt something, it may be a good thing or a bad thing, but it stirred something in your feelings, then I have made a small achievement through my work, to express myself through my works, and also make the viewer feel something through it. It's not understanding it in words or in specifically about what is it about, but mostly feeling what I felt through my artwork. That's it.
So when you do your artwork, how long does it usually take to complete one piece of art, or does it depend on the message that you're trying to portray?
It depends on Sometimes it takes like a week or maybe a month. It depends on what I want to do or how I want to create. But also it depends on like the detailing, the detailed work. Sometimes it takes just one day. But yeah, it depends on all that.
Which is the when the longest time that you have taken to finish one piece of art?
I'm still doing one. It's taking a month. So yeah, since I do it intuitively, whatever I feel, it comes out there. So sometimes like I'm seeing a shape and I want to create it more in my style. So I do it like in phases. But sometimes if I'm like so ready on hands-on in that piece, it even takes me like just 8 to 6 hours. Like if I'm
Wow.
consistently sitting there.
Non-stop 8 to...
No. I mean, there'll be maybe a break of an hour or something like that. But when you're concentrating on something, you don't really think of time. And then it just like, it goes on. That's one of the best things about, being able to put your heart in it. Yeah.
I think many people don't realize what goes on behind making a piece of
Yes.
art. No, we
Yeah.
just look at it like, it just looks like pencil sketch. It's
Yeah.
easy, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it must take a lot of time, even physical effort and stress as well.
Yes. There are maybe like different styles of art, modern art or like expressionism or realism, realistic art. People will think like, oh, realistic art takes a lot of time because you have to go into detailings, right? But yes, but art is art. You cannot judge like like, oh, just because this looks more detailed work, this doesn't have any like value to it. But so like it depends on the artist. If it's just a straight line, sometimes there are those art pieces where you cannot understand why is it just a straight line. Any child can do it. but it's because the artist felt like it wanted to they wanted to showcase that thing. And it's so difficult not realizing that you cannot draw like straight line with like freehand. You need a scale or something. But an artist who has been practicing a straight line for maybe 10 years can just draw a straight line without using a ruler. But the value of the art is maybe judged upon just like the visually, because they don't realize how much work has been put on behind it. Yeah.
Indeed, yeah. When I usually read about artists and what goes on behind making their work, sometimes I come across artists who have certain habits, some quirky habits that they do when they're painting or before painting and all that. So how about you? Do you also have any such quirks or habit that you religiously do? Like say you work only in the morning or evening, anything like that?
If I'm working, I make sure I don't really have so many quirks, thankfully, but I make sure I cleanse my space before working, and I have to clean my space, because sometimes when after working it gets really messy, and then you'll know once you see a studio, an art studio or something. It's all over the place. But when I want to do a new piece, then I have to cleanse my space and clean my space. And sometimes I clean so much I get tired end of the day. Then I have to start the next day. That's something that I think that's one of my quirks. And also I have to kind of listen to music to make me set my mind, to make me more at ease to start doing my work. Otherwise my mind is like everywhere. Yeah.
What type of music do you generally like listening to?
I generally like listening to all sorts of music except for psytrance and dead metal. But music that really has an impact with my work is like instrumental music, classical instrumental music, and maybe something a bit lo-fi. Yeah, music that does not have lyrics, even though sometimes there are some specific songs that I've connected my piece with. So it like, yeah, that's, but not listening to it when I'm working because it becomes very overwhelming for me.
I guess the lyrics, the songs which have lyrics, I mean, are they distracting when you do your work?
Yes, yeah, most of the time. Like specifically when I have already created a layout in my head, I try not to listen to the specific song that I'm relating myself with. So I just listen to instrumental pieces. But if that song is haunting my head like in a cycle, I just play it and I like intuitively work on it so that the art piece and the music piece, they connect together.
It's like, you know, I feel like when you start doing your work, you get into a totally different headspace.
Yes.
Like in your own world.
Yeah.
And it's so
Yeah.
fascinating. I think that's such, you know, to be able to do that is talent in itself. You know.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Out of all the art that you have created, which one do you feel has been the most challenging?
Challenging. I think the big piece that I did with on the canvas, that was I had a group exhibition with 4 other male artists from Nagaland. There was Akup, Atrong, and Jimmy. That was last year. So that was my first ever big canvas. I think it was like a 5x6 painting canvas. I usually do like small pieces and detailed work, but that was like a challenging work for me.
Because of the size.
Yeah. So it took me about 2 weeks, I think, to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it must have been worth it, you know, the end result.
Yes. At first when I like did it, I was not very happy with it because you know you're your own critic. But looking at it every day, since it's like hanging in the house, I'm like, not bad. I'm impressed with my work. Yeah, so I think you have to be less harsh on yourself most of the time. I think we forget to, you know, be kinder to ourselves. Yeah, learning.
I actually follow you on social media, and I find your
Thank you.
work, even though I don't have that talent in art, but I find your work very interesting. It's so, how do I say it, clean. I find it's so clean.
I try to use minimal but heavy impact.
Yes, exactly. I think that would
Yeah.
be minimal but heavy. You know?
Yeah.
And there are some artwork of yours that I can relate to as well. Even though, like you said, maybe it's not a message that you were portraying,
Yeah.
but I can relate to some of it. So I would like our listeners to follow you as well and check out your work as well. So can you tell them about your social media account, wherever that you're present in social media?
I have my website linked to my social media, the Instagram. That's limatola.longkumer at Instagram. Limatola with TOLA, not TULA.
Is it Limatola with TOLA?
No, spelling is like LIMATOLA .longkumer.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually spell it like that.
Limatola.longkumer.
Yes.
So if we log in, if we search the particular account, then I'm sure our listeners will get to see all your work.
Yes. That's all there.
Very curious to know, do you take orders as well for clients, or is it
I
just
do.
for exhibitions?
No, I do commission-based work sometimes. I've sold, and I'm so lucky that they give me the freedom to do whatever I feel. But when I'm doing it, I make sure like I can connect to the client. So yeah, I do commissioned work.
So what does the client do? The client comes up to you and says, I want a painting like this on this particular idea.
Yes.
Or how does it work?
They do ask me, like when I have the freedom to do whatever I want, I do it. But when I do ask them, like, do you have a specific color that you're connecting with right now, or do you have specific things like that's on your mind, your phases of life or something like that. But other than that, I think I'm very fortunate to be asked to do whatever I can. So I do give them a little bit of layout, a rough layout of what I'm going to do, and in that way they say yes, it's okay, or they just allow me to do directly. So yeah, if I'm not happy with my work, I don't give it to them. So that's something that I'm very what do you say? That's something that I really care for. Like, I don't want to just do it for the sake of it. That's something that I think about it a lot. Yeah.
So then we shall continue the conversation, but we'll take a short break here. So in the break time, would you like to share your favorite song that our listeners can listen to?
It's not my favorite song, but it's something that I've been listening to a lot. It's called what's that? Music by Neil Francis. Music Sounds Better With You, I think. Yeah. Yes. Music Sounds Better With You by Neil Francis.
Music Sounds Better With You by Neil Francis. All right, listeners. We shall be back very soon after that short break. Make sure that you stay tuned with us. We'll be continuing the conversation. See you soon. Welcome back, listeners. You are still tuned into Hills FM, and we are in conversation with Miss Limatola Longkumer, who is a visual artist, a very talented visual artist. So, Lima, what is the number one thing that you like about being a visual artist? The favorite part of your job?
I think it's more the power to inspire and be inspired. I think that's like the biggest thing that I enjoy or learned.
Do you ever experience these creative blocks? Like,
Yes, definitely, definitely I do. And I think most artists do. Like every artist have days when they're not, they have days when they cannot be creatively doing their own their artworks, their pieces. But yeah, so when I have these creative blocks, it's all about discipline of mine. I think I try to talk myself out of it. And I just like, even if it takes me like 5 minutes to just or 10 minutes or even an hour to sit down and begin again, I try my best to like get back to, just even if it's just lines or even if it's just circles, I try to just put it on the paper, and that's how it starts, getting better. Also, having a great community will help, like an artist community. If you have a blockade, I think you should be able to be inspired by the fellow artists that you communicate with, or even as an artist, sometimes you don't even want to talk to people. But it's very important to come back to your space, and then if you feel the need to learn something or talk about your art journey with your art community, like or friends, artists, I think it's important to do so, like so that you'll be inspired again.
Then have you ever experienced something like, say, something drastic happened in your personal life, right? And then you're trying so hard not to let that personal experience spill onto your art? Have you ever experienced something like that?
I think for me, like those experiences were the outcome of my artworks. Like those drastic incidents that took place in my life brought out the beautiful part, the beautiful pieces that I've made because of the things that I went through. Like I tried not, like it's really how you see the world, how you choose to see the world. Sometimes we are always, and you have to give yourself that time to mourn or to that time to be down, but also know when to get out of that, and make use of that sadness, and then to create life out of it. Yeah.
Say then, if you were to give an advice to a fellow artist who is experiencing a creative block for quite a week, a month or so, and what advice or suggestion would you give to your fellow artists?
Nature really helped me. So I think if whatever you feel has helped you, or music, whatever you think you can, like it helps you, whatever helps you, I think you should take a break from that art art time that you feel like, oh, it's not working out, then you should take a break. And it's fine to take a break, because I think sometimes we really think like, oh, we have to work, we have to do this, we have to do that, but we forget to take a break and then reflect on so many things that we needed to. So I think it's okay to have blockage. It's also part of your lessons. And I think one should go and explore to get back again to where you left off.
As long as we don't linger in that space.
Yes, definitely not. Don't linger in that black hole.
Now, when you're not working, right,
Mhm.
what do you like to do? How do you keep yourself occupied, or your hobbies and all?
My hobbies. I usually just, I don't know, I like to just do silly stuffs or just go hang out with my friends or just create something like even, I don't know, designing some stuff here and there, like out of my products. So, but I do like going out and interacting with my friends and learning from them. That's what I like to do.
Would you classify yourself as an extrovert?
I think it's like it's both for me. Sometimes I go out, I'm like friendly and all, and then I come back home, I have to recuperate. So yeah, it depends on days. Yeah, I think we all have that. I don't know. Yeah, that's yeah. It's both, I think, for me, introvert and extrovert, somewhere along the lines.
So, speaking of art, going back to art again, who would you say are your favorite artists and why?
So I'll just read. There are like 4 artists that I really like, and they've like made an impact on my art journey. Those are like one is Egon Schiele. I think that's how you pronounce it. I forgot. He's an expressionist painter who's also known for his erotic and figurative works. He was also the prodigy of Klimt. Have you seen the Kiss painting?
No, I have not.
Gustav Klimt.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So he was like the prodigy. James Jean, he started as an illustrator. He's also known for his like large scale paintings. His works are mostly like a combination of his roots. He comes from Taiwan, I think, like and contemporary imaginary. So it's like a combination of those two worlds. Kim Jung-ji, he was an illustrator. He passed out like last year.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's known for his like drawing big size works in details, entirely by memory. He will not like look at anything, just like directly draw whatever is in his mind. So amazing. Yeah. So
Like-
those are the and one more, there's Hilma of Clint. That's like she's an abstract artist who's like, I think she was one of the pioneers of abstract painting. So a long time ago, when mostly painters were like, famous painters were like male painters, but she was like a female painter who was known for her like abstract painting. Hilma of Clint.
How about the market in Nagaland? Is there a big art community in Nagaland?
There is. I mean, I don't know about the market. I think it's slowly progressing. I think, be it like 5 years ago or 10 years ago, it has changed. There has been a change. The community exists, and I think it's the process is progressing.
True,
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Maybe after some years, we might see you leading the art community in Nagaland. Would that be?
That's probably one of my dreams. hopefully I get to do that. I mean, yeah, I really would love to represent my people and take my art somewhere else around the world. Yeah.
In your work, you have also done a lot of Shunga art, is it? I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yes, Shunga art.
Can you tell us something about like what Shunga art is and how do you happen to stumble on it? Why did you choose that one in particular?
Shunga art is like a Japanese form of erotic art. And that's like the Kama Sutra of the Japanese world, the Japanese art. They are like illustrative artworks, and I really it really catched my eyes when I saw Shunga art was because their detailing is like it's minimal, but it shows a lot. Also, it was some of the works are like totally exaggerated, or the genitals of the man is like bigger than I don't know, and there are waves under it, but it's very fascinating if you look at it in a artistic perspective rather than other judgmental perspective. Yeah, so those are the things that I think I don't really know the in-depth story about the Shunga art, but there was something that really fascinated me was mostly the detailing and the exaggeration of the pieces that I've seen. Yeah.
Do you still do Shunga art, or has your art changed over time?
It has changed over time, but there are like traces of it. Like it doesn't have. I mean, there are traces of it, like through like body contacts. It's not like a very on your face erotic art type of thing, but more of sensuality.
This year, I believe it was in the month of March, I guess, you had an art exhibition, right?
Yes.
Along with an American artist,
Yes.
Heather Layton, and the exhibition was titled The Healing Session.
Yes.
So how was the experience, and any takeaway from the experience which you would like to share with our listeners?
Heather and we didn't meet before, before the exhibition. She was in the US preparing for the exhibition through Sir Abeb Ezung, the gallery owner. He introduced me to her, and she wanted to work with a female artist from Nagaland, and that's how we connected with each other through emails and social media. The theme was healing season because it was like post-pandemic, and we wanted to speak about what happened during, what we lost or how we have healed through COVID. After COVID time. So it was so surprising that most of our, both our artworks, was so cohesive without even intending to be. We mostly drew figures of people, but also hugging each other. I think that was one thing that we both realized as an artist, as a human being, in fact, that touching or feeling or just being together during COVID was something that that we forgot, or that we didn't have. And healing season was like, after all that we went through, was a journey to come together. What did I learn from? What I learned from her was the power of art, bringing people together, and was, even though we were from different backgrounds, we understood the importance of just being empathetic or being loving to each other. I think that's what I learned from Heather.
Is there any particular artist that you would like to collaborate with, or let's say an exhibition where you would want your art to be displayed?
Oh,
Anyone in mind like that?
anyone or anywhere?
Anyone, anywhere.
I would love to have an exhibition outside India. I don't know specifically, maybe in New York or in France.
Wow.
But yeah, that's like my dream, and hopefully it comes true. Yeah, I'm praying for it.
I think it will be so pleasant to see you in France, especially because you give out this French girl vibe quite a lot.
Bonjour.
Coming back to Nagaland, do you feel that in Nagaland, people is there a market in Nagaland for such career choices as an artist? It has been progressing, but
Yeah.
do you still feel there's a lot to do?
There is a lot to do, and there is a lot that can be done. But I think as a career choice, there is a lot of options. You know, it's not just being a painter or a sculptor, but there's so many things that the art world has and they can provide. But as an artist, if you want to be a true artist, I think even for me it's a lesson, because all these years I've just been like thinking, oh my gosh, I have to like make money and do this and, you know, indulge myself in capitalism lifestyle. But as an artist, I think you have to be true to yourself, which I'm still learning as well. I think you have to be consistent with whatever you're doing. Like wherever you're going, you have to be consistent with your journey, and that takes a lot of patience and hard work. I think one must do that.
True. Consistency, like in any career
Is
choice.
the key.
right?
Yes, definitely.
Out of all the artwork that you have created so
Mm.
far, which one is your favorite?
Oh, they're like all my babies. So every phase in my life, it's been different artworks and different styles. So I don't really have a favorite artwork, but because all these work that I've done is like part of me, and sometimes it's so difficult to part ways, you know, after creating it. And even if someone wants to buy it, sometimes I don't sell it, because it at that point in my life I feel like it's so I don't know, it's so I don't know how to put it in words, so it's so personal. Yeah, for me. So I try to like, you know, part ways, but I try to also know the value of my artwork. So I think there is no such important painting or favorite painting that I have. I think everything that I've done so far is like a lesson for me, a journey for me.
Is it like
Yeah.
giving away a child?
Yes, vulnerability. Yes, it's like giving out a child and sell your child away.
Jesus. So we are almost coming towards the end of our conversation, but on behalf of Hills FM and personally as well, I would like to say that you are the perfect example of quiet confidence. So confident, like we don't have to be loud to be confident. You portray such confidence in such a quiet yet such a powerful way, and I think it reflects in your work as well.
Thank you so much. That means so much. I'm feeling shy now.
We at Hills FM, we hope that you'll continue doing the same thing over and over again.
Thank you.
And we hope and pray that years down the line, you will be one of the faces of the art community in Nagaland as well.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Hopefully. Yes.
Would you like to say any final message to our listeners, our aspiring artists?
Like I said, I think the most important thing is not forgetting who you are, why you started this journey, and consistency is the key, I think. And even if you have the talent, if you don't work hard, I think we forget that path. So I think we have to be patient, and consistency should be the key.
Amen
my
to
message.
that consistency. Yes. Thank you so very much, Lima, for
Thank you
joining
so much.
us.
Thank you so much having me. Thank you.
And I'm very sure our listeners loved listening to you. And to our listeners, continue to stay with us. We'll be bringing in even more interesting topics and interesting conversation. Till then, take care of yourself. This is your RJ signing off.
You're listening to 90.8 Hills FM Radio.
This is 90.8 Hills FM radio station, using our voice to rate your choice. Stay tuned.
Attention everyone, the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways is stepping up to provide compensation to hit and run motor accident victims. If a life is tragically lost, legal representatives receive rupees 2 lakhs and for grievous injuries, rupees 50,000 is offered. The process is swift and straightforward. The applicant, that is the accident victim or representative of deceased victim, shall submit their claims to the Claims Inquiry Officer or SDO. Within 1 month, the officer shall prepare an inquiry report and submit to the Claims Settlement Commissioner, that is the Deputy Commissioner of the respective district. The DC shall issue sanction order in 15 days and the compensation swiftly follows through the General Insurance Council. For more details and to download the form, you may log in to www.gicouncil.in. Also, for all your queries and assistance, you can also reach out to the district level officers nominated by the General Insurance Council. For Kohima citizens, you can call the number 940-267-9209 or mail your queries at kekisezo.zao@nic.co.in. kekisezo.zao@nic.co.in. And for all the other districts, you can call at the number 9436603482 or mail your doubts to zh.sema@nic.co.in. This information comes from the Motor Vehicles Department, Nagaland.
Welcome back, listeners. You are still tuned in to 90.8 Hills FM, Timapur, the voice of change. Listeners, please tell me that you are happy after listening to that wonderful conversation. Not only happy, but please do tell me that you are all now even more curious and into art. Please make sure that you check out her Instagram account as Limatola Longkumer and to follow her page and stay updated. Alright, now since we have few minutes left, why don't we all start vibing together with Moko Goza's song Nakamano. And for this evening, this is RJ Ayan signing off. Enjoy and have a wonderful evening.
Ase ami ekta naga manu chokora di block Kohima town jonom hola jaga ama laga pet para ola bole time day naga manu khunto bukhe kena olai sei kot kote jai ase sob manu bhai ko gai moi khan laga maiki khange bishi morom korina sai sabji bal khabole mon chokate ahibi khilai dibo apni ke bastenga akhuni sai sabi kun piche para aise sob ke hila bole ma kasam de tu gana huni gena sob manu ahibi दिखाई दिबो आपनी खान नागा मानु की ऐसे बाहर मानु की कोबी इतु मोई ना जने मोई की खाई तैखला की जाय माथा काटी गेना आया मानु ऐसे दे मोई खान नागा मानु खान भी कमती न होई दे नागा मानु हुई नागा मानु हुई की kwa naga आमी नागा मानु ऐसे दे नागा मानु हुई नागा मानु हुई Kikwa naga Ami naga manu ase de Ase ami ekta naga manu chokora Rasta lok babo moike kini thake pokora Ahi thake ajikali itu babana Nagaland for Christ koi mati karne jagara Puisa karne giri ase moika naga manu khan Muk to mitha huile bhi hat na dikhai kam Election time ahile to sob manu malamal Election time khotom huile suka baat aru dal Throw your hands up now if you feeling me right Mudu khaile to party every night Hule bhi itu mudu to kina pa ase ho Bishi salu sheno hoi mudu bon hua to Nagaland de thaki kina Assam laga mudu khai Moika laga economy ke bye Cousin khala gor ke to mudu khore bishi jane Moika naga manu ka bhi komti no hoi de Naga manu hui Naga manu hui Kikwa naga Ami naga manu ase de Naga manu hui Naga manu hui Kikwa naga Ami naga manu asede Muttu rasta jabo kuntu Sukku chuttu gormui la kuntu Kingfisher lal na green color too BP nakabo ajito osi blue Muttu rasta jabo kuntu Sukku chuttu gormui la kuntu Kingfisher lal na green color too BP nakabo ajito osi blue Nagamanu hui Nagamanu hui Kikwa naga Ami nagamanu asede Nagamanu hui Nagamanu hui Kikwa naga Ami nagamanu asede
You're listening to 90.8 Hills FM Radio.
This is 90.8 Hills FM radio station, using our voice to rate your choice. Stay tuned.